All right, family. We black in the house with the general. Y'all already know what time it is. Yeah. Yeah, we got the titles mixed up, but we gonna get it together. They all fall in alignment. If we didn't fight, what justice would we get? What justice would we get, man? You know, we I'm looking at even the police officer that shot up in there. What's his name? Brett Hankinson. You know what I'm saying? They tried to give him 1 day. Yeah, that's what the is that what the prosecution? The prosecution tried to give him 1 day. The 1 day sentence. This is the police that killed Breonna Taylor. The 1 day sentence was a recommendation made by the Justice Department. Listen, under the Trump administration, for ex-police officer Brett Hankinson, intended to equal the time he had already served upon his initial arrest. So they tried to give him 1 day. This is what the prosecution, well, was it the pro? Yeah, the Justice Department. Yeah, the Justice Department. Hankinson was convicted by a federal jury of violating Breonna Taylor's civil rights for blindly firing 10 shots into her apartment window during the fatal 2020 race. So you just shoot. You just shoot. You just gonna shoot up in the damn house. Prosecutors argued for the reduced 1 day term. Prosecutors argued for the reduced 1 day term, claiming his actions did not result in Taylor's fatal injuries and that the legal boundaries of his Fourth Amendment violations were debatable. So this is what I'm saying. When they kill a nigga, when they kill somebody black, they always try to get the fuck off. You understand what I'm saying? It don't make no damn difference. I mean, we always wrong. If niggas didn't fight, you wouldn't get no justice. They just be killing niggas all over the place. If you remain quiet, if you remain submissive, you understand what I'm saying? To the evils, authorities, the powers that be, nigga, they would exterminate you. They would exterminate you, nigga, without a cry or plea for help. You see, despite the DOJ's recommendation for a 1 day sentence, the federal judge ultimately rejected it and sentenced Hankinson to 33 months, 2 years, and 9 months in federal prison. He ain't even in there no more. Yeah, ultimately they said that, you know, while he initially reported to low security federal prison in Fort Dix in New Jersey on October 9th, 2025, he was released just over 2 months later. You see what I'm saying? Just over 2 months later, on December 19, 2025, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit granted him bail and ordered his release while his legal appeal is being reviewed. You see what I'm saying? So he out on appeal. He didn't kill the woman. He killed the black woman, Breonna Taylor. Shot in a window. Don't know babies in there or elders, and no, you don't know who the fuck in there. You just gonna shoot on in there. You know, safety concern. As a former, see, they always worried about he's as a former law enforcement officer whose case was highly publicized. Hankinson faced credible safety threats while in custody, which had previously forced prison officials to move him to isolated special housing. Low flight risk. You see, he's a low flight risk. Oh, I'm back. I finna say, oh, here we go. He does not pose a danger to the community or is not a flight risk. Legal marriage. The judge argued or agreed that his defense team raised substantial legal questions regarding his conviction that warranted a deeper review. You see, so so you see, here it is, the judges are agreed that his defense team raised substantial legal questions regarding his conviction that warranted a deeper review. So when it's an appeal, man, you could get that appeal. Your appeal looking good. Carmelo get an appeal. Oh, man, niggas playing the race card. He's guilty. Why would they appeal? You ain't supposed to appeal. You supposed to get your ass into, and we're going to look into this now. I want to drop this science now. If you would like to know, okay, now let me just showing you. I'm going to show you the other side of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Here it is, a man that could just shoot into a window, not knowing who in the house, kill whoever in the room. You understand what I'm saying? Wait a minute. What race has received more exonerations in the United States, and how many has it been? Watch this now. Watch this on the exonerations. Listen to this. You see this? Black Americans have received the most exonerations in the United States. You see? Yeah. According to data compiled by the National Registry of Exonerations, which tracks wrongful convictions, reversed since 1989, Black individuals account for 52 to 53% of all U.S. exonerations. See, now I'm putting Carmelo Anthony in the same because, they said the same shit about these men and these women and some of them on the motherfucking death row that they gave, and had been spending 40, 50 fucking years of their life in jail. And then miraculously, they were exonerated after they didn't spend 50. Wait a minute. Hold up. We in the house. That's why we have to fight. You can't let nobody, you can't submit to no damn justice. You got to overthrow you if you want authority. Okay? Yeah, and so despite making up only 13% of the overall American population, so blacks account for over 52 to 53% of all U.S. exonerations, despite making up only 13.6% of the overall. So you just throwing niggas in jail. That's exactly what it's saying. You just throwing niggas in jail by the numbers. Okay, let's see. Listen to this. Total number out of the 3,767 total exonerations recorded in the United States between 1989 and the end of 2025, approximately 1,960 to 2,000 of those exonerated individuals were Black. Okay, were Black. You see, locking them up. And so this disproportionate representation remains a constant pattern in modern legal reviews. Yeah. For example, in 2024, listen. For example, in 2024, 60%, 87 out of 147 of all nationwide exonerees were Black. 87 out of 104 in 2025, 61%, 59 out of 97 of those exonerated were Black. This is ridiculous. You locking up innocent fucking people. Now I would like, okay, Oh my God. Innocent. Let's go over this. We got to look at this, man. Key contributing factor. Look, drug crimes. Innocent black defendants are heavily targeted. They make up roughly 69% of all drug crime exonerees in the country. 16, you throwing all type of drug cases on black people. See, this is not the balance. They want to say, oh, you're crime written and all of this, but they don't talk about what the fuck these peoples is doing illegally, locking up innocent people, throwing drug cases on them and shit. And this punk ass pastor talking about submit to authority. What? What was wrong with that fool ass Negro to say some shit like that? Yeah. Innocent black defendants. They make up roughly 69% of all drug crime exonerees in the country. Okay? Look at this. Look at this. Sexual assault. Innocent black individuals are 8 times more likely to be wrongfully convicted of sexual crime assault than white individuals. A disparity heavily driven by cross-racial eyewitness misidentification. You see? That's crazy. 8 times more likely to be wrongfully convicted of sexual assault than white individuals, a disparity heavily driven by cross-racial eyewitness misidentification. Let's talk about murder. Black individuals are 7.5 times more likely to be wrongly convicted of murder, facing longer average prison terms before exoneration, and a higher likelihood of official misconduct during the initial investigation. Lying ass prosecutors, polices, and all of that. See, they're not talking about that. The longest prison terms served by black people who were finally exonerated. Let's talk about that. Glenn Simmons, a black man who spent 48 years, 1 month and 18 days in prison. Simmons was convicted of a 1974 murder in Oklahoma when he was 22 years old and was initially sentenced to death. He was finally released in July 2023 and was officially exonerated in December 2023 after a court ruled that prosecutors had withheld critical evidence. Wow. Including the fact that an eyewitness had identified entirely different suspects. Ain't that a bitch? 48 years, 50 years, 50 years. John Alsby, 47 years, 4 months. He spent more than 47 years in prison on a life sentence in Washington, D.C., for a 1972 rape and murder before his conviction was overturned based on hidden evidence and flawed forensics. Okay? I'm talking about forensics. Flawed forensics. Richard Phillips, 45 years, 2 months, sentenced to life in prison without parole for a 1971 homicide in Michigan. He spent 4.5 decades behind bars until the Wayne County Conviction Integrity Unit cleared his name in 2018. Could you believe that? See, this is why you got to fight. Nigga, they throwing innocent people in jail and they spending half their fucking life incarcerated before exoneration. Ronnie Long, 44 years, 3 months. Sentenced to life in 1976 for a rape in North Carolina. He spent over 44 years behind bars until federal courts overturned his conviction in 2020 due to a striking pattern of deliberate police suppression of evidence. Striking pattern of deliberate police suppression of evidence. He later received a historic $25 million settlement. Now, I don't know how old he is, but 25 million, I guess you can live the rest of your life in pretty good, but goddamn, you 44 years. I don't know how old he was when he went in. If he anything over 30, you'd be able to hand something down to your babies. They'll be able to live off, Kevin Strickland, 43 years, wrongfully convicted of a 1978 triple homicide in Missouri. He spent 43, and see, this is why we bring up Carmelo Anthony, because so many people say he's guilty. You know how many times they done did that? Throw in white and suppress evidence and all. You know how long you think we stupid? You must think we fucking stupid. 43 years. See, this is why we had to fight. You understand what I'm saying? Wrongfully convicted. And the same shit during the time of he's guilty. It's a slam dunk. Without dispute. It's him. Lock him up. Same jury system. Lock him up. He's guilty. You see, we've already been through these lynch mobs before. Spent 43 years in prison until a judge vacated his conviction in late 2021, noting that his conviction rested entirely on a witness who has spent decades trying to recant her statement. This is why we got to fight, family. This is why we got to fight. We can't believe shit that these peoples is saying. That's right. That's right. Even the political prisoners. That's true. Same shit. Same shit, man. Same shit. I wasn't looking in, but I'm looking in now. You exactly right, brother. You exactly right. So, yeah, we most definitely is on the case, man. Make sure y'all click the link. Patreon, get over there, get that work. Man, we is on the case. We not letting up. I be right, black. This is General Genalseti, man, saying black power.